meal menu. Town is located in this great newsletter. For those that are watching at home, these newsletters are in Stop and Shop, they're in Shaw's, they're at the library, they're at Town Hall, they're everywhere. But we do have a giant stack that is here as well. And on to presentation. So I have the privilege of introducing Mike Johns, our new Assistant Town Manager, former Veteran Services Officer. Come on up, Mike.
Thank you, Mark.
No problem. Thank you.
So I had the honor of being on the interview panel when Mark and others were interviewed for this job, and we had a lot of great candidates, and it was tough. But I tell you, Mark came out on top. He's super. And after he'd already kind of sealed the deal that he was the right guy for the job. And then he throws this newsletter, this monthly newsletter on the table that he had been doing in Randolph every month. And we flipped through that and said that was the icing on the cake. So if you haven't had a chance to look at the gem, it's worthwhile. I picked up a copy, I read it, I delivered one to my parents who live here in Foxborough, and they love it. And I'm hoping they get a little more involved here as well. So Mom and Dad, come down. But I will say, the last 8.5 years, I've had the greatest honor and privilege of serving all of you as your Veteran Service Officer. And during that time, I've met and be able to serve and work with so many great people, including all of you in the room. And we started with what I would say a meager program. We had veteran services. We have for over half a century here in Foxborough. But it was time that the town come in compliance with the law when our last veteran service officer passed away, and so the town decided, or actually had to, hire a full-time veteran service officer. So I filled that role with the help of you all and our Veteran Services Advisory Committee and town leadership, built a program that we're very proud of. And today, I'm also thrilled to be handing over the reins of that program. Actually, it was a couple of weeks ago, to someone who's much more qualified than I was when I came into this role. I had no experience working with veterans other than I am a veteran and come from a military family. Ali Rodriguez comes to us with quite a resume of working with veterans and their families, dependents. She worked for Veterans Incorporated, which helps homeless veterans, folks in need, delivering services. Then she worked for the state of Massachusetts, where she primarily got people back to work, into the workforce, but also many other things in delivering services to the folks here in Massachusetts. And so it was an easy decision for the folks who were on the interview panel when they looked at her qualifications, but then met her in person and found out, she's an Army veteran, her husband is retired Army, her dad is an Army 82nd Airborne veteran. Their son, their 20-year-old son, is serving in the infantry right now out of Alaska, and I found out this morning he's out training in parts unknown in California, where folks will train before they go on deployment. And so she has an extensive military background, but more importantly, she knows how to serve veterans and meet your needs. So I know most of you have met her. If you haven't had a chance to come to Town Hall and meet Ali and Matt there, who are at the forefront of delivering services to veterans and their families in Foxborough, I welcome you to do so. And with no further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Ali Rodriguez, our new Veteran Service Officer.
Look, I'm just tall enough to reach over this. Good morning, everybody. I was here last night, so some of you have already met me. You're going to be hearing the same stories again, so my apologies. But I see a lot of new faces, so thanks for coming out. And coming out to meet me. It is my honor to be here. It's my honor to be serving in Foxborough. I'm not a native of Foxborough. I don't live in town, but I already love this town. I'm so happy to be here. I'm very fortunate to be here, and I recognize that. Like Mr. John says, I am an Army veteran. I was a 25 uniform signal support systems specialist, which basically meant I was on the radio a lot. I also worked on satellites, radios, telephones, computers. If it was used to communicate, I could install, maintain, and troubleshoot it. I did that for a little while, and then life took me in a different direction. Went back to school, and got my degree. I have 2 bachelor's degrees, one in cybercrime investigation and security management, the other in, what was the other one? I have another one. Criminal justice, security management, homeland security, and cybercrime investigation. So that's that. I'm 6 weeks away from graduating with my master's in organizational leadership, and I promise I will never step foot in another classroom because I'm done with school. I'm so tired. Like Mr. John said, I have children. My oldest turns 20 today. He's stationed in Alaska as an infantryman. I asked him not to go infantry, but he didn't listen, so now he's in Alaska, and he calls me every day saying it's so cold, and I said, sorry, bud, I can't help you. My husband is Army retired. He's got 4 deployments to Iraq and a tour in Uzbekistan. On his last tour, he was wounded, so he's medically retired, and I am his caregiver. I also have 2 girls, 2 teenage girls who are 14, and a 7-year-old son. So I am busy, but it's okay. So if you haven't met me in town hall, if you haven't gone to town hall, I recommend that you do. Massachusetts has this wonderful program called Chapter 115. We're the only state in the union that does it. Massachusetts General Law Chapter 115 states that all towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts will have a veteran service officer. And Chapter 115 benefits, it's like a monthly stipend that can help with prescriptions and just a monthly stipend to help you. If you are a veteran, or if you know of a veteran who's struggling a little bit, I encourage you to reach out, have them come see me. Everything is confidential, and there are tons of programs available with the VA, not just disability compensation or pension, but that office, the Veterans Office, is a resource. So if you have any questions, or if you know somebody, say who served, and they've never been involved with the VA, I highly encourage you to come, just bring a buddy and say, hey, have them sit down with me, and if I don't know the answer to a question, I know somebody who does. So nobody leaves my office empty-handed. With that said, I welcome any questions and comments, as long as the questions are easy and the comments are pleasant. No questions? Going once? Yes, ma'am.
Do you live in Foxborough?
I do not. I live in Taunton. Yes. But moving to Foxborough is not out of the question. We'll see. We'll see what the cards have in store. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
What's the worst part about being a female in the service, which traditionally was male-oriented?
So, good question. So the worst part about being a female is that I get questioned on my service a lot. So different generations, I get it, but people meet me, they assume that my husband is the veteran, and that I'm just the spouse. Yes, I am a spouse, but I'm also a veteran, and not every GI is a Joe. So there are female veterans. We're actually the highest growing population in the VA are female veterans. We're out there, we're loud, we're proud, and I've grown used to it. Just yesterday walking in the door, someone was like, oh, you're a veteran. Yes, I am. I know I don't fit the mold, but I'm a veteran. And that's it. Any questions? Anything else?
Where are you stationed?
A little bit of everywhere. I did basic training in Fort Jackson, went down to Fort Gordon, Georgia for my AIT, and then, funny story, I volunteered for airborne school. So I took the airborne PT test, qualified, was going to airborne school. I was so excited. Called my dad. I'm like, Daddy, I'm going to airborne school. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna pin your wings. And I'm like, yes. So they lost my packet. So I didn't go to airborne school. So I graduated undergrad through AIT, and we're all lined up, and I will never forget this. So we're about to graduate, and we're getting our assignments. So you're going to Alaska, you're going to Korea, you're going here, you're going to Hawaii. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to Korea, I'm gonna go to Hawaii, I'm gonna go to Alaska. No, they get to me and they said, Oklahoma, and I was so upset. I was so upset. So my first duty station was Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and then I re-enlisted, went to Fort Eustis, Virginia, and then Fort Riley, Kansas, did a little bit of TDY, Texas, California, where else, Missouri, just a little bit everywhere. I don't recommend the Midwest. So seafood.
Well, they took our school, our military school, from Fort Bliss and moved it up to Fort Sill now.
Yeah, artillery is at Fort Sill. Yep, Home of the Artillery. It's actually where I met my husband. He's what they call a forward observer. And he's up there. Well, he was.
We didn't have any forward observers, we were just forward.
Yeah,
Air defense artillery.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, the ADA. I did a few missions with the ADA. They're wonderful people. Yeah, smart. Yeah.
Thank you, we are.
Yeah.
He's
Watch
so
it.
modest. He's very modest.
With that, I thank you everybody very much for your time. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the breakfast. It was delicious. And I highly recommend and encourage you, if you have any questions, I'm right at Town Hall, first floor, so you don't have to climb any stairs. Matthew, my assistant, is phenomenal. He actually runs the show. I just take the credit for it. So please come visit. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Oh, is that the over the hill
That's
game?
AMC.
All right.
Did you get breakfast?